So who am I talking with?
I'm Nicole Bradick.
And I know that. But everybody else doesn't. And what does Nicole Bradick do?
I'm a former attorney, and I own a company called Theory and Principle, and we design and build digital products for the legal industry, so web and mobile applications, that sort of thing.
And how did you get the idea to go off and do that? Well, how long have you been doing it?
So this is my third company in the legal technology, legal innovation space.
Okay.
So I've been around the block, and I think when you pay a lot of attention to this industry, you naturally see the open opportunities. And this one was a pretty clear one because there was no shop that was focused on the legal space, and this is a space that's desperately in need of good design and good user experience and good user interface for our products. So that's sort of the opening that we see to help people build better, more usable products.
How did you get it started? I mean, you're out there doing other stuff. You got other company you're working with, and now you got this idea that you're going to do this thing. How did you get it off the ground, or just get it started?
Yeah, I mean, the barrier of entry to starting a company right now is very low.
Why do you say that?
Because you need to have an idea, you need to have a voice, you need to have business acumen, but you don't really need a lot of money. Like, I didn't need to go out and fundraise to start this company. I didn't need to go out and struggle to find clients because I already had a name in this space.
Right.
So we started day one, and our biggest challenge is that we already had clients and we're working from day one on products, and still had to sort of build the rest of the company, all of our processes and all of our sort of strategy work had to sort of be built around actual work that we were doing for clients.
And the type of work that you guys are doing right now, I mean, is it development of products for law firms, development of apps for law firms, development of what is it?
Yes.
How's the range?
Yes, and so our clients' range is pretty broad. So we're legal industry specific, but there's so many corners of legal industry. So we work with large law firms. Typically, they're trying to build apps to give to their clients as like value add products or as like lead generation products. So that could be a native app, that could be a mobile app, that could be a web application. We work with other legal tech companies who have existing products to help them improve their user experience design, their user interface design. We can reskin products that are fully functional on the back end but just need a refresh on the front end. And then we work with foundations on the justice side. So there's a lot of products being built that are aimed to bring access to justice or help leverage technology to make a law more accessible. So we'll work with foundations to build these end-to-end products. But we also do early workshops with law firms who are just thinking all right, so we have a new innovation team.
Who's we?
A
lot of it is, we all know you.
It's my company, but I have a team of designers, a team of engineers, I have project managers. We're sort of a full service product team.
Now you're based in Portland. Is the whole entire team based in Portland, or is it diverse? Really?
Yeah.
Everybody there?
Everybody's in Portland. We do have some people. We have one engineer lives in the mountains, and he comes in Maine, and he comes once a week. But we're all in Portland, so we do a lot of traveling. We don't have clients where we are, so we.
How important, is it for you now, or was it when you came up with the idea to start this, that people knew you?
It's extremely important. And because this is a trust business, it truly is. Because a lot of our clients, it's the first time they're building a product, or this is like a bet the farm type. We're a smaller firm, but we're going to dump a lot of money. And building products is really expensive, so it's a trust-based business. And I think the fact that people know me, I think they know that I'm legitimate and I understand what I'm doing and I'm competent and I know this space very well. I think that's been huge. Both for pipeline building, but then also for actually servicing our clients.
No, it's a trust business. It is huge, and I'm telling people that all the time.
Yeah.
I mean, lawyers are paid to be suspect of other people. That's what we do for clients.
Yes.
So when we do it for our own, we're looking at the same suspicion. So that trust factor is huge. Did you know your business is off and running pretty well right now? I mean, did you know right away this was going to work for sure? You did.
I got very early validation on this concept, and I had been building products in my last company too, and so I kind of knew the market. But very early on, I was having conversations. I'm doing a lot of like market interviews, and what I was hearing people say back to me our value proposition. Like before I even explain the value proposition, people are saying, "Oh yeah, I would love to use you because you have this industry expertise. I don't have to explain things to you. You can help better with strategy because you know the market. You have this, people are really finding a lot of value in the design side, but they don't have the design resources." So we had almost instant validation.
One question I wanted to ask you, and it's a society issue.
Yeah.
The number of women leading legal tech companies is how many?
We have a group that we all support each other, and there's maybe a dozen of us.
Which is more than I would guess 5 or something. I mean, it's like you just. Maybe it's obvious inside the law based on the way the laws function and whatever, but why do you believe that's the case, and what do you see happening in the years ahead, or what needs to happen?
So the biggest challenge, I think, and the biggest thing that needs to happen is that law firms, legal tech companies, people in this space need to start buying products or hiring companies that are women-led. And I think that's very hard because most of the clients we're dealing with are men. Right. And it's just more comfortable for them to hire another man. I think that's just like foundation psychology, right? Like you're more comfortable with somebody who looks like you, feels like you. And I think that's a business development challenge for me because I am the face of our company, and I think that, even if it's not explicit, I don't want to work with a woman, I think it's much easier for them to hire a man. And so I think that the buyers need to take a leap, and they need to be willing to buy from women so that other women can see that you can really be successful doing this. Because it's rough. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. We have a support group because we need a support group because we see some ugly stuff. I think we need success stories is what we need.
And the same, a lot of it I feel is lip service sometimes by the law firms on the diversity programs and women's initiatives because it comes right down to it be like 2 or 3% of women are leading major law firms, etc.
Yeah.
But inside the legal tech industry, how important is it for companies to hire women and get women in leadership positions, just like we would be pushing law firms to do the same thing?
Yeah, I think it's very important. And I think if we look right now at some of the legal tech companies, like the SaaS companies with the biggest trajectory, their leadership is mostly men, and a lot of them have 0 women in their leadership team. And so we're not going to build leaders. We're not going to build people who then branch off and start their own companies, and that's how these leaders are built. So it's absolutely critical, and it's just not happening.
Yeah. So what has to happen is the leaders of the company have to get outside their comfort zone and hire women as opposed to another person that's like them or like this other person that's on the leadership team. And
you know what? My wish is that we can get beyond a point where we're always talking about this. I feel like I have to be an advocate for women in this space, and so I have to be out talking about it. But really, what I want to talk about is my company and our products, and it's so hard to get there because there's so much other work to be done.
We talked about it in the 70s. We talked about it in the 80s.
Yeah.
And then everybody's talking about making progression. And I used to wonder whether we should be talking about it or not because that's highlighting something that should be behind us.
It's a tough one.
So I don't know. Maybe that's what people will. I hope people aren't doing it forever. But I know that sounds stupid, but I'm sitting here thinking, who are legal tech founders that are women? I've got to make sure that I try to reach out to them to interview them about founding companies. So I'd be remiss not to do it. Maybe that's stupid that I'm even thinking of that.
Yeah, but that's better than not acknowledging it because it's easy to forget.
We're here at Clio, and there's lawyers that you've been out doing stuff and founding things and being part of initiatives. You have a strong name for that. For the lawyers that haven't got outside of practicing law but are looking at the people that they're thinking they're drinking some type of water in companies, maybe they have an idea and they're wondering about what they should do. What do you tell them?
So I think that leap is a big leap for a lot of people to make. I'm a big advocate of the lean startup methodology of taking baby steps. So anytime I talk to somebody who's thinking about starting a company, it's always, make a baby prototype and go out and talk to people about it. And not only will you get customer validation and find out if there's a product market fit, but also you'll find out if it's a fit for you. Do you want to be out there hustling, pounding the pavement, selling software, which is a very different life than selling legal services, where there's an existing demand for a lot of times in software we're creating demand. It's a fundamentally different lifestyle. It's an exhausting lifestyle, and so I think if you can sort of make a baby prototype and go out and test it and sort of live that lifestyle for a little bit, then I think it's easier to like decide if that's
a great point. You're the first person to mention the side of what if it isn't right for you?
Yeah.
It sounds, hey, I'd love that. It'd be all these things. All these people have been overnight successes with their businesses. No in between. But you're right. Would I feel comfortable going out and selling my service? Mm-hmm. Would I be comfortable getting critiques on a prototype and being vulnerable about things? Yeah, it's great advice.
And there's a tremendous learning curve, right? Like when I started my first company after practicing law, people always be like, "Oh, are you learning how to code?" Like, no, I needed to learn how to run a business, and that's not something I ever learned in law school. So I was like, my first company, I spent that whole company making basic business mistakes and backfilling knowledge and filling that knowledge gap of how to run a company.
What made you do that? All of a sudden say, okay, I've got to go out and figure out how to run a company. I'm a lawyer.
It's interesting. So like in the design discipline, we talk a lot about constraints and the benefits of constraints. So I live in Portland, Maine, which is not a hotbed of business activity, and I was not happy practicing law anymore, but I didn't have very many other options. So that made me start to think creatively about like, what can I do here? What gaps can I fill in this space? That I can run from here but still have like a national company. So I was sort of forced into it, and I'm really glad I was. So it was sort of, that constraint was a blessing.
How long ago was that?
It was, my first company started in 2011, 2010, something like that.
Yeah, pretty good in that amount of years. I'm sure it feels like a long time.
It feels like a long time. It does.
But when you think about what you've accomplished running a successful business now, and it's based on your name and trust, not all that.
No, I'm very grateful, and I think I have the best job, and I work with the best people I could ever imagine working with. So,
thank you.
Thanks, Kevin, for having me.